Okay, welcome to my video. Welcome to my video about talking about how to make a really strong tank. If you haven't seen already, I already made a video talking about how to make a really strong fighter jet. And actually, there's one up here right now. This is actually a newer one. This isn't one I showed in that video. But basically, start talking about the mini. So okay, now in my video I made about me making the fighter jets, talking about how to make a good small ship fighter, whatever, right? Um, I laid out a bunch of them that I made previously. Now I have made a lot of tanks too, but I actually don't have them here because it would take some serious amount of effort to get them transferred over right here, and I'm not looking forward to it. And trust me, that they don't look good at all. The old ones don't at all. So honestly, I'm saving your eyes from a pretty awful sight. So basically, what happened is, let me explain this real quick. So basically, what happened was, I made the tanks. I got everything figured out, and then I remade these two to take all those features I've learned and put them into a new cosmetic design because they looked that bad. But they work about the same as the best thing I created way back when. Now, I'm going to say this right off the bat, and this is going to annoy some people or not. Tanks in this game are totally useless. I don't care who you are, what you got to say, but they're pathetic. Honestly, any flying vehicle that's atmospheric or what will blow through this thing. I mean, the only good thing about these things is that I guess they can go very far ranges without consuming a lot of power because they're using wheels. But other than that, they're totally useless. Now, this one here was before the panels came out in the new update, as you can tell by the window. I did that to cover it. I'll explain why I did that in a minute. And this one here is my newest one I came out up with. And you'll see why it looks the way it does in a second. So anyways, this one here, let's start with this because this is about... This actually has basically almost all the features that one has. That one's just even better, a revamped version with a few more added features. So I actually downloaded a lot of tanks to test against these tanks from the workshop, but I'm not going to put them down like in the world because, let's be honest here, it's going to be pretty insulting to you. If anybody that made those saw them and then I listen to me pick on their design, they're probably not going to like that too much. So I'm actually not going to go ahead and show those. But let's just say I compared this to a lot of other tanks in the game, maybe like a good, I don't know, 30 or 40. But basically, here's what I've learned so far. So like, let me start really getting into it because now you got the whole story and everything figured out. Basically, 5 enemy signals. Sorry. The major thing about these tanks is, like I said, they're useless. Like, they're so useless, it's kind of a joke. So let me show you this real fast. So this one right here, if I copy it, 178 blocks to make that. It's actually less, but wait, this is 448 blocks. And which one do you think is gonna win in a fight? I dare you take 2 seconds to guess. I mean, come on, let's be honest here. Obviously, the fighter jet's gonna win. By the time you're turning, you're already dead with the tank. And also, any fire you take at that tank, you're gonna be dead about instantly. And let's be dead frank here, you're not gonna hit that fighter jet. So it's about as useless as you can get it. But now in tank-to-tank combat, so that's the big one. So now, sorry, let me go into one more thing, and that is that a lot of people like to take these things and they like to specifically use these with mods to make them worth the singular crap. Now, I personally am not wanting to do that because the thing is about mods is whenever you get into mods, and this is going to fit a lot of people, nobody else is going to download your mod. Now, that is the case. Let's be honest, some people will, obviously. But 99% of the time, people want a tank design that they can use not just in their world, but everywhere and throughout wherever. So I'm trying to make a vanilla tank, no mods, as strong as possible. Okay, so this is basically no mods, like I said, because I know when you start putting mods in, you can make these turrets really strong and really powerful. You can give it really good panel armor. I know that's definitely a thing. Make way better cosmetics. But like I said, I'm just trying to keep this purely vanilla. So basically, it is what you see. It functions on servers, everything. That's kind of what I was aiming for. So I'm just going to get that out of the way because I do know that that's a thing that can make this thing a million times better. But vanilla speaking, this is what I kind of learned from making these. Okay, so tank to tank combat. That's the real subject. This is the only thing they're really useful for, and I guess fighting drones they can probably be useful for. Because drones are kind of pretty pathetically weak. Fighting drones, maybe picking off a couple turrets at a distance by poking your head out, in and out. Okay, you can probably pull that off. I'm not gonna, maybe that. Okay, but at that rate, might as well just, like, I gotta stop. But you get what I'm saying. Literally, you can just pull out one of these and it's about the same. But okay, I gotta stop now. So basically, let's go over the basis of kind of like what makes a tank for what they're worth, I guess, right? Now, I'm not gonna pull out no tanks because, like I said, I'm not gonna go insulting anybody. Let's be real frank here. The turrets are what make this thing a joke. So let's just say it like this. If this thing had guns in all directions that were spinning, that were just as strong as the body, it would actually be pretty useful, right? But it's the matter of how pathetically weak the turret is. Like, it's not even a joke how pathetically weak this turret is. So, you can notice the first thing I did when I created this, and this is going to be really, like, I was talking about the Firejet one, right? But this is going to be probably a fair bit more intuitive than the Firejet one to understand here. And, basically, just kind of stating the obvious as I go through this. The hinge is in the dead center of the actual head in order to guard it. Obviously. I try to armor up as much as I could around here. I put the entire rocket launcher in a section of armor to guard it. Because a lot of people make the mistake of putting the rocket launcher at the end just to make it look good. And what ends up happening is he gets shot off immediately and you're automatically rendered useless. At least you can take a couple shots when you have the rocket launcher armored up. So you at least have some weapon that's still functional. So that's the main thing. Is I learned real quick you can never get away with having a rocket launcher at the tip of this thing and actually use it for real combat. You have to have a barrel. There's no exception. And like I said, these windows, these were put down before they had the panel update, for the industrial pack, whatever. So, these actually still work as armor. It's kind of hard to believe, but they do. They just add a little bit of padding, dampening to the rocket impact, being that it's not directly in the rocket launcher. Unless they go through the holes or something, but let's be honest. Okay, so another thing is you need to have other weapons in this thing, because even with all that armor, you're going to lose in about 3.7 seconds flat. Another thing I've noticed that makes cosmetics in this thing look pretty good is putting these small wheels down. A lot of people put these big wheels, which actually make it work a lot better. But the small wheels actually, they just look a lot more cosmetically pleasing. Another thing is a trick to suspension in the wheels. I never really talked about this before, but I found a way of making suspension in cars really strong, and I embedded it into this design. If you put wheels behind, just regular wheels behind a wheel suspension, these wheels are a lot stronger than regular blocks when it comes to impacts because these can kind of wiggle around, I guess. And those right there are kind of fixed, so when they move, they just break. While the wheels are okay, they'll take a little bit of the shock. You stack like two wheels and make it stronger. You go past a certain point, it'll become weaker. Just know that. So I gave it a little bit of a suspension, being these wheels connecting this wheel suspension, so that way you can actually fall from pretty high heights. This ladder is 1 cosmetic, but 2 rocket dampening. So if you were to get hit here, it kind of keeps the rockets from digging into the armor on the first impact by actually hitting here instead of hitting it right flat against the armor by putting this excuse of a ladder in the way. So that kind of acts as a slight dampening to actually any rocket impact to the side. Armoring the front here. Honestly, I found that putting the cockpit in the back is actually the best option. But so yeah, it's pretty simple. You can heavy armor it all day long. Now let's go into the new one. Put a gun here, put a gun here, put a gun here, and then put a gun here. And I'm telling you right now, this thing can blow that thing out of the water. Because now, here's what I've learned. This one I made with the small improvements. Gatling guns and tanks have to be put on. Like, so basically, a tank without a Gatling gun is like you're 100% reliable on shooting any flying object. But with a Gatling gun, they can assist you in your garbage aim, and at least you'll hit something and be able to defend yourself to some degree. That's kind of something I learned with this. Is without a Gatling gun, you can't fight anything flying. Like these, and also interesting about adding Gatling guns is when you put a bunch of tanks together, you can kind of use them as mobile sentry turrets too. So there's that. But literally, the Gatling gun will save your skin against anything that's flying. You don't have to go up and try to play around with your own guns, and which you're going to lose in about 3 seconds. The Gatling guns can have way better aim than you. They're a lot more stronger than this entire turret head. So you have to have one on. That's something I learned. You cannot get away with not having a Gatling gun on it. Like that one over here, because then you're just pure aim. You know, there's nothing else going on for you. This thing can shoot at something else where you're shooting at something else. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You can't go wrong by putting a Gatling gun on a tank. And like I said, when I came to this is what I was saying about the point I said earlier. When it comes to adding as many guns as possible, because you're going to lose them like no tomorrow. So there's the body gun, which I saw someone else do, though, which is actually kind of smart, because this is actually one of the strongest guns, one of the last guns you'll lose. So at least you can aim the vehicle towards a direction, last case scenario. This one here, you know, general turret direction, and this one here is what you're aiming at. So you can shoot a turret and a rocket launcher towards the direction you're aiming at. Another thing is, too, is I padded out more by the rocket launcher just to add a little bit more durability up to here, too, so it doesn't really dig into at an angle into it. Then we started getting those panels, so I started incorporating those. And you can see how I got this head here. Like this. But I actually added kind of like a 50 caliber look to it on purpose, being that if you're aiming dead on to something, as long as you're not shooting right down the barrel, it kind of acts as a dampener for something on this angle just a tiny bit more. So it dampens the damage to the barrel if you're aiming towards something in general direction. Now, another thing I learned is you can't really do anything about this crap under here, which is like a weak spot. I mean, other than armor up that main block, there's not much you can do. And this one, because I had some bullcrap excuse to make this turret head longer, I was able to push back the hinge even farther, which adds to its strength, being that rocket launcher is way back in there. It's like, I think yeah, that's the tip of the rocket launcher right to here. So, you know what I'm saying, that all there is just guarding that whole thing. So it makes it way more durable. Still using the ladder crap, right? Okay, and then I got 2 cockpits, one in the back and one in the front. Now, I will say this, right? Now, the cockpit in the back is definitely a good idea, right? Because you have to go through all the tank armor before you will die. That's a good thing, but I will say, you need to have the cockpit in the front, because the cockpit in the front has back armor, front armor, and side armor. So it's kind of like one of those things that, like, if you're fighting anybody that has, like, 2 brain cells, they're going to try to hit you in the back. I mean, come on. You got to be stupid to expect that they're going to try to hit you in your strongest point, right? And the second they hit you there with anything, you're going to die. So it's kind of like, well, whatever. So I have 2 in case one were to give out. Like, if you're fighting, you know, like that base over there, and you're trying to peek your head, shoot something, and peek your head, and then you could go back to the other gun if something were to happen to your main cockpit. Okay, yeah, that's cool, right? So I added 2 for durability, and 2 to also add the fact that you can bring someone with you, I guess, that can operate something. Like, maybe someone could operate, I don't know how that would work, but maybe you could operate this. I don't know if you can or not, the game rules. And, well, I would operate, like, let's say, the main gun. And then we also got the chairs to carry people with you, which is actually very heavily needed, because now you're going from total useless tank, right, at least you can carry more than one person. So if you can't use it for fighting, at least you can use it for transport, right? And if something were to happen, you at least can fight back. That's kind of what you're getting into, right? You can start to hold up to like 4 people, if not have some dude stand on top, or if you really felt like it, you can have some dude like hanging off the ladder here. But it's like, it's so stupid, but you can at least get away with that bull crap, right? And then you can go from A to B with a bunch of guys, right? And if anything were to happen along the way, which, let's be honest here, it would no, it wouldn't. Unless you're in some kind of PvP server, you can at least try to and hope to God you can fight back to some degree, I guess. Like I said though, these tanks, they're pathetic. Like, they're so pathetic that honestly, I can't put into words just how pathetic these things are. Like, this tank here, what you're looking at here, unless somebody made something stronger, I don't know. But from what I've seen, and I'm not trying to be no a-hole, I know, and here's the thing, I'm going to say this right now. This tank could look better if I were to give up on the strength. I understand that, you know what I'm saying, right? So I'm not busting nobody's, you know, whatever, because they're weaker. I'm just saying that this is one of the strongest tanks I've personally have seen out of like 30 or 40 tanks I've looked at on the Steam Workshop. Because, I mean, you've seen that. If you have seen the video, you know how I get with stuff. I like to optimize things into no tomorrow, right? And this thing is the strongest one I personally know of, right? Like that. Oh yeah, and here's the thing: for its size, because I know you can always get stronger, right? Whatever. But this is personally the strongest one I know of for its size, and even then, it's a total joke in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's a pathetic joke in the grand scheme of things. Like, I'm gonna do this. I don't want to do this because, you know, whatever. But let me go just pop that down real quick and show you this. Look at this. So if I take my little fire jet, just let's see how usable that thing still is now. Oh, actually, it's still pretty fairly usable. Can I use a turret? Oh. Nah, the turret's really jacked up now. Oh, can I? Come on. Oh. Oh, I can still kind of use it. It's glitching all into no tomorrow, but holy cow, the clang's going crazy on this thing. Here, I'll go give it mercy. 1 second. Right here. Boom. That should have gotten rid of a lot of the lag. Like, just like that. Like, literally, if you were to fight anything moving, like, let me show you one more time if you haven't gotten the idea yet. Like, literally, if I were to be fighting you, right, and you're in that little goofy tank, you have your little Gatling gun, all I have to do is move real fast, and then I either killed you or killed your will to live, A or B, whichever one you want to go with. Like, it's like that fast. You're rendered useless. And see where that what I was saying about the extra gun count really starts to matter? Because look at what we got. We got A and we got B, right? You're not going to be able to use this, let's be honest, because I don't even know if that's still connected. And B, at least you got this one so you can aim in general directions of like a base. If you're fighting a base, you're not going to hit anything flying with that. But that's just to put into perspective how pathetic those tanks are. Because if I were to take this fighter jet and pop in another fighter jet, right? And then shoot it like that, right? Let me get up to the front so it's more of a fair chance. Are they still standing? Well, I would have killed the guy in it, but it's still there. Give me a second, I'll go finish it off. I don't know if you just saw that. Right, I don't know, but like, now let's have you take a guess which one's stronger, right? Yeah, like, I don't know if you got that like really well, or maybe I gotta do that again, but like, you can probably figure out what's going on here. Because let me show this to you one more time. That's 178 blocks. This is 460 blocks. The second it loses turret, it's totally useless. This one is half the cost to make. I mean, other than the hydrogen cost, you could use atmospheric, and it lasts like an insane amount of time longer. So it's like, just to put into perspective how kind of pathetic these things really are. It's like, if you were to build this as survival, let's say for your military or some crap, this would be a nightmare to make like 10 of these things. That thing right there would cost like nothing to make, because a good portion of this is even heavy armor. Because I've optimized these pretty fairly well. And, you know what I'm saying? And then you're building this thing that's twice the amount of blocks. It's all heavy armor, right? And then at the end of the day, you're coming over here and you're like, oh, okay, time to actually go use it for anything that's worth singular crap. And then you'll lose it in about 2 seconds of actual combat with all the optimizations I could think of giving it. Now, there is an optimization I thought of that would actually make it worth something, and that is just screw the rocket launcher. If you were to make it kind of like I don't know what they call those things, but they're like the tanks that have they're just turrets. That would be worth a crap. Like, it actually would be better than a lot of vehicles. But when you start to actually make a tank to be a tank in this game, you can't do it. Like, I don't care. It's just like they're never worth anything. Like, if I armor this thing up double the amount of armor, it wouldn't matter. Because if you hit the weak spot, you know what I'm saying? You lose your turret. It doesn't matter. Like, on the top here, there's like no armor. The side here, yeah, that's cute, but you'll drill right through that with an actual turret. I mean, I can shoot this maybe like twice with a rocket launcher and be Gucci. Never mind, it's already broken. Wait, is it? Yeah, this lost connection. Did I break the rotor head? No, I lost that though. Yeah, I did break the rotor head. Nope, it didn't even last one rocket launcher hit. This side of it. My God, look at that. And watch this, if you just like hit right here. See how many wheels you got left. Oh, you got like 2. Okay. Now you can't move. Good luck. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't get it. Oh, I broke the rocket launcher. It disconnected from there because the rocket launcher's holding that up. But like, you can't get any more pathetic than that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you could really understand what I'm talking about. You got 1 wheel left. Okay, let's try this one. I hit it here. We'll do something different here. Still got 1 wheel left, but all your little wheels are all screwed up, or I don't know. Like, boom. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're a tank, you're getting hit by rocket launchers. Let's stop goofing around. You're not getting hit by turrets if you're trying to fight another tank. Yes, you will by whatever, but at the end of the day, it's still completely useless. So it's kind of like one of those things. Now watch this, by the way. Look at this. They're still in the sky. Let's try to hit one, the really good one in the back, where the engines are. Maybe I can take one more in the back. Give me a second. You still able to fly? Oh, yeah, we're still good. Yeah, just to put into perspective of how pathetically useless those things really are in the grand scheme of things. But if you want to make a tank that is the strongest you can make it, as far as I know, that's how you do it. I'll probably put a link to these to the Steam Workshop variant of these, so you can use them, I guess, instead of trying to make your own. But like I said, if you're trying to make anything worth anything real, and you get the idea. Like, let's stop. I don't have to keep repeating myself, but yeah, this is not how to make the best tank. It's just that in general tanks suck. So there you go. Yep.